Oh, both of them? Somebody has a request for both in the jumping beans. Hi, this is Lisa Guthrie. I'm at 10507 Aurora Avenue North, Seattle, Washington, 98133. I should finish. I always tell a little history about this place. This place, my apartment was entered pretty much after I got here, including somebody tried to enter during the night. And these gang members have threatened me with everything from rape, murder, slavery, extortion, mutilation. And by the way, there are places that link with this. It's not unusual for the social services to be embroiled in crimes. And the social services that I've seen, they're primarily Bloods and Zetas as well. A lot of people around me, no matter where I go in, Washington area, they seem to be mostly Bloods. And I haven't gone very far, to be quite frank, but they seem to be mostly Bloods, Zetas, and Asian street gangs. And I was talking about Dr. Jaffe's son. He's the son of a psychiatrist that visits some people here, and he likes to portray himself as a policeman. He's on crack a lot of the time. He's special ed. I'm trying to figure out if he's here or not. It's the supposedly empty janitor's room. And see, I don't hang out with anyone here. There's the relationship. It always has been like that. But they've tried to extort. And there was a bulging-eyed, ugly black man. He looks like some sort of salamander or something. He's hideous, too. He was talking about $100 debt and get the hacksaw. Oh, and by the way, I think he goes off into tangents and portrays himself as a preacher too. Isn't he the one, I wonder? Now, I don't have anyone else in my apartment. I never do, and I don't want anyone in this, from this place. Actually, I don't want anyone in the U.S. They're all human zombies and gang members, and I'm not interested. Not interested in gang members, let alone Satanist gang members. They're Satanists. They all took the fall with Satan. These are my video diaries. And even if you don't believe in Satan and if you don't believe in zombies, you might look at some of my videos and, I'm telling you the truth about these bums. I don't exaggerate. And sometimes you've been able to actually hear them shouting and shouting threats at me. And, they're pretty much insane. So I think I might start putting my suitcase stuff away, and there are big threats if I leave the apartment today. And somebody with a very effeminate voice was threatening me earlier. Either they're effeminate and they're a male, or they're they're effeminate, and then if they're a female, they have a masculine voice. So the bums in the janitor's room are also threatening me, and I don't keep very much food here anymore, so it's not like I'd want to stay, and there's nothing to stay for, and it's a barren room with just some possessions. And once again, I'm going to inform the gang members, if you try to stop me from leaving, I will have you in a nursing home, a prison, or some sort of jail or mental hospital, because I will be taking video of you. They're bragging about ambushes. They've tried to terrorize me every day for 3 years, and they have actually threatened to pop out from the janitor's room. The janitor's room, it wraps around from the front door to the kitchen. I've photographed it, videoed this before. And they have access to the pipes, and they've, put acid in my water when I wouldn't do gang crimes. And they've also put things like semen, urine, fecal, and tampons, and other things beside acid, such as probably oven cleaner, hair dye. I could smell hair dye one day. And these bums are torturing me because I'm not a Satanist zombie like they are. And by the way, I'm threatened on a daily basis, including by total strangers, for wearing the cross. And, these are personal, it's a personal item. But I've gone down this. Oh, and one of the retarded black Nazis, second floor or third floor. I think the second floor, second window in. The retarded black Nazis, by the way, they all think they're going to indenture everybody. And retarded white people will go along with that, and also retarded others. But you need to understand that the Bloods and Zetas are in on, quote, indenturing. So they're not going to get very good work out of me because let's say they send me to take care of their relatives. Well, their relatives are going to end up probably arrested and committed. Their house will be demolished, and if they have a tractor handy, that will be going through the garage, etc. The horses will be let out. Yes, I've been threatened with ranches. Now, the ugly black Nazi, he's threatened me about his grandfather. His grandfather is allegedly in one of the low-income houses or apartments, probably apartment. I can't remember which one. Now, these black Nazis, by the way, two of them link with funeral homes. A couple of the black Nazis link with funeral homes. And from the threats, I gather they don't care if you have a death certificate for that body. They'll bury it and cover up the evidence. That black Nazi, he's an ugly male. I think it's an ugly, creepy, retarded guy. He's, this is a window, so you have to judge by voices. It's on the other side. And he has a slight red tint to his hair. He's about 5'9". He's 30s. He's not attractive. None of these are. And he's very much a head injury, but he's used to getting his own way because the retarded people in America were absolutely promoted, and I call it survival of the shittiest or survival of the unfittest, and America was headed toward this way. Now, everybody fell with Satan 13 years ago, but America was headed for a fall because the normal people were being edged out, and people were being given unfair perks for lack of talent, such as if they are of racial preference, certain race was getting a lot of the preference of them, and I'm not all white, by the way. And then also, a lot of these people got drug and alcohol, or received drug and alcohol preference. So if they're alcoholics and drug addicts, rather, they receive preference. And if you're an alcoholic, even a piece of crap like this guy, he could actually get a job with his white counterparts, his other counterparts, and he might be listed as not psychotic as long as he was an alcoholic. And he might not even be listed as retarded. I like the way, so I'm not going to give any kind of political correctness to this whole thing. By the way, I will call males, some of them, by effeminate names, which yesterday I did when I came out of the building. The thing is, my viewpoint is, if someone was gay and they were a nice person, and if they were not trying to harass me, they're actually less effeminate than a heterosexual male. So there's my viewpoint about the whole thing. But the cowards, they might get called certain names that we're not supposed to call gay people anymore, whether they're heterosexual or they're gay. Anyway, I like the good old-fashioned words to call names of zombies. These are all zombie gang members, and they're all retarded. Right name. And let's vote to bring back the grading scale of America or other countries where people were listed as imbecile, moron, idiot. It was an actual grading scale. It's very relevant. Now, I have to get ready. I have to start ironing. You're going to hear me beating up the iron because I never fixed the electricity in this building. And it's unstable, it's unsteady. Obviously, the electricity is okay. It's the mechanical. Is that electricity going to work in that area today? Well, I'm not sure. I'm actually not sure. because why? Well, I wasn't able to. It's too small. And also, you wouldn't want to move your stuff in where people were coming in. So I paid for a storage, and then I volunteered to go to the social service. And so I don't feel guilty eating there because sometimes I'll lend a hand with dishes still, in spite of the fact she was involved in a plot. Let's see, she's involved in a kidnapping plot here. Like I said, I'm usually threatened with kidnapping, murder, mutilation. Excuse me. So I moved the phone. I like to move it around, you know, out in the public and filming. It's hard to manage when you're doing other stuff, like I'm trying to iron, etc. So I need to get a separate streaming camera, which I'm going to. And there's one of the prostitutes, she's talking about bills, and she's a liar. They're all liars, just like that ugly black looks like a salamander. There are no bills with these bums. There never have been. The typical of bums in America, they'll portray that you owe. These are all retarded people. They're all. Hi, this is Lisa Guthrie, so I'm back. Some of it's choppy, I know, these videos. And, oh, I can see videos still, actually. There's nothing to see. I'm going to be doing my chores. I want people to hear if the morons are threatening me at this location. And if you can't hear them directly, I could repeat what they're saying. I'll get a better audio set up eventually. And, you know, this is just a smartphone. Now, I know that it's broadcasting me pretty well, but eventually I want you to hear better. Now, some of you are out there and you have pretty good stereo equipment, good computer equipment, and, you know, the computer equipment, obviously, you can clean up sound. So if you're curious as to what the bums are saying, then, you know, some cleanups enhanced sound might help you. So it could be interesting because I'm one of those people, I'm not going to listen if someone tells me you can't come out the front door. I'll just knock them over like a bowling ball with a bunch of pins around. Is that an assault? Well, you're not allowed to kidnap people. You're not allowed to unlawfully do it. These people are morons, though. And a couple of the morons that visit here, they have security guards I was telling about from apparently, by the way, they've had some sort of gay relationship with a policeman that's a dirty policeman. Meth labs and predicting the LaSalle security guards that will try to prostitute and extort people. And so those security guards, by the way, absolutely come up here and they pretend that they have authority and that they're policemen. And they have people like Dr. Jaffe, he's a psychiatrist that comes here. They have his retarded son, and he marches around in the military. He's a tall guy, retarded. Diagnosed as retarded and possibly dangerous. And apparently there's a cop who's had sex with the squeaky voice. Rumor about that security guard, by the way, that he was somewhere in Africa and had his penis removed, part of it. Doesn't mean he gets sympathy for the rest of his life and can be evil. I mean, Hitler had one testicle. And the guy's a black Nazi. By the way, you'll find that black Nazis will get in with whites, and it's not unusual. And it's the thing is, World War II, Hitler did not just ally himself with people that were blonde and blue. Not to suggest that he was one of the allies, better than that, you know. But he did not join with people who were just blonde and blue. Always a trail of money property, and drugs. And so you will find that the black Nazi thugs. And in fact, the retards in America made that look like to be cool or something, to be a black Nazi thug. And these black Nazis have a hostile takeover plot that they'll cover the world with about 1,000 people. Yesterday, one of them was insane. Got back here. He was insanely screaming about it. I'm not trying to call, but he was absolutely screaming about it. And I think it was the black Nazi or one of the security guards that comes. And they were probably high on crack or whatever. You know, I'm not in there with them. Now, where do I get my information? Well, I get my information from people that threaten me continuously and from what's been done to me. So when there's Jaffe's retarded son mashed into the water supply where the shower is and he's bragging about it, well, that's not just victimizing me that I'm here to talk about. And I'm here to get better and better equipment each time to broadcast you his voice. But, you know, you probably can forget about people anything in about it. You absolutely, if you hear them trying to victimize me, who do I mean? Any gang members? You probably should call FBI and police out of state. Because everybody's pretty much gone. And I don't really have any faith that anyone would do anything. And these gang members have, well, they're so enmeshed in certain, well, in society, and it's accepted, unfortunately, that I don't really have faith in anyone who's a policeman. It was a dirty cop who started this whole process 13 years ago when I was reporting possibly a and he blackballed me, like people you hear like during the witch hunts with the communists, and this bastard meth lab and the other crimes of property, and so I was gang raped, and I was probably injected, and then gang members have followed me around for 13 years calling me a prostitute because of that rape, and then they'll take video, maybe they'll get in with your other landlord, like or force themselves in or sneak in, and then you have video of you going to the bathroom. And then these people will call you a prostitute or an exhibitionist. What you realize after a while, though, anybody who tends to like to look at people going to the bathroom and investigate that person, those people are lewd, they're base, and they're as bad as the gang members. So anyone who believes them, it's just a game anyway. They're all zombies. Zombies in the U.S. And that's all I see are retarded zombies. So they're all, and then there's another, there's a retarded hooker in there. Occasionally she goes to Elizabeth Gregory home. She's got rented hair. She smells so that you can actually, I vomit through the, I can smell her through a wall. And when she's been in here, I've smelled her, and actually, I've almost, and they'll give out keys, and if they can't find someone to give out your keys, it's okay. They have house-breaking tools. They can cut through a floor. They'll induct a neighbor, maybe coerce or force a neighbor. Maybe they'll maybe, you know, they can get in through, well, they go under houses. The foundations of a house, that would be nothing. You've seen houses where they just have cutting-in windows. An old crumbling house that looks like a termite mound, ready to go. Well, think of what a razor would do, not to tell you again, it's telling you you're not safe in that window. You're not safe anyway. Seen a big blood ogress named Nicole Wilkes, manager of Burke Gilman Place Apartments. I've seen her personally lift out a whole picture window, sliding glass with the metal piece. So, and she's female. I mean, she looks like a man. See, that's why when people tell me they're trans, sometimes I'm not even fazed. Well, they're all, it's like, do you think I'm evil? Well, these are all sinners here anyway. They're all, you've all fallen with Satan. It doesn't matter now, does it? And you're all psycho zombies. And a lot of the women look like men today. And ugly, or, you know, a lot of them, they look like males. The bomb's playing, saying something flattering. I think it's, is that fatty? A fat, ugly male with the big bulbous head likes to ejaculate into people's water supply and ejaculate all over apartments. Is that he? He's retarded. He's never in his life. Never worked a day in his life. It's all gang member crap. Why? The gangs and Satan works very well for both. The gangs will embrace you if you're retarded, if you do crimes for them. I'm not talking nice, retarded people from 20 years ago. The policeman had the gay affair with his lover at Pike Place Market. His name starts with a B. Ha ha ha. I'll be right back. So the security guard has part of his penis off. So you could sort of think, well, now this man's a rapist. He's in on forcing people into prostitution. He's a very angry, sick psycho. So you could actually sort of, if you were a psychologist for the criminally insane, you could say, I think that added to his aggression toward women. He is unable to penetrate people as much as he would fully like, so he has this rage. And I'm not an expert. And he's a black Nazi. So who is he going to take his ire out on, even if he has white friends? Well, see, there's nobody white in America anyway. Why? They're all programmed by black Nazis and white and other sort of and miscreants. They weren't even meant to breed. It's like frogs in a pond with missing legs and legs. That's America. It's a pond that's very damaged. Hey, I didn't have to beat up my iron very much today. I don't know what's going on. I just don't know what's going on. It's a mystery. It's a mystery. It worked the first time I plugged it in. Ooh. Yes, I'm weird. Why? Well, if I wasn't that weird, you know, you'd go crazy after a while, after you'd been scratched with glass wherever you went, had glass poured on you. Glass powder, it makes devastating injuries, and my hands are bleached. And then the gang members will also follow you around. They can humiliate and pretend that you like some sort of drug addict or that you were making meth. Even though you have chemical sensitivities, and you'd get very sick if you did it. So I'm going to iron. Oh, please. things might be past it. I don't know. Okay, I have to start packing it too. Bum playing blah 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 lovers in you. Now, when you hear off remarks by retards, which the U.S. it's all retards, note that they are also Satanists. All of them. They are all Satanists. So you might hear something and think, gee, that's funny. And just like you'll hear something, here's the typical U.S. conversation. So let's say you're on a bus. And there are, 20 people that lean down to you and say something very odd to you. It's a word that's hardly used, perhaps. They're trying to use paranormal to cause an effect, but also they might be using something in the physical world, such as just threatening you. It might be a threat, like it might be a word like noonquake over and over. It's a threat. Someone might say, you're going to be dachshund. Something odd. Well, that also is a threat. There's a gang member's code, but they also use it for a paranormal sort of lever. And Satan gave these bombs sort of a stolen intent channel. So whether you believe in the paranormal or not, that's what that's about. And whether you believe in chakras or not, there's been a lot of chakra theft and a lot of brain and tissue theft. What's the brain and tissue theft about? Cover your ears if you're not interested. It's actually to open up a channel. So it's like going to the bank. You've got Joe so-and-so's retina, so you can get into the bank. You've got them there in his head. You might even get that person's information. So it's like a psychic. So don't listen. I know it's very, crazy. There's about 800 million people that are all over the place that believe in chakras, perhaps even more. And remember, what is it, 5 billion on the planet? Well, I prefer the quiet, harmless, or even, they don't even have to be quiet. They can be barking mad, but harmless to me. And just crazy. I don't care if they act like Mr. Peepers from Saturday Night Live, if they're a nice person and they're not trying to harm me. I really don't care. Because guess what? Barking mad but harmless doesn't harm me, does it? If they're harmless. Barking mad but gentle, doesn't harm me. So, but that doesn't necessarily mean you're barking mad if you have that. One of the bums is chanting blah, 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 witchcraft, blah, 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 just as I said. Oh, and they're slammed out. I'm busy, so I'm not keeping up with the attacks very well, but bum just slammed out on one head and soul. So you're going to hear me say some weird things myself, and I'm going to be cursing bums. And these are all retarded apes. I don't even think they're ape level. And am I referring to color? Oh, no. Whether it's a black Nazi crazy lady that's driving the metro bus and her wig slipping around and she seems like an Alzheimer's patient, or if it's a white freak with a bulbous head that's too aggressive, or some in-between person. I say in-between. Why? Because I might not know what you are. And I'm not white, I'm pink, really. Well, my skin's mottled now, so that doesn't even count. But anyway, in between, I don't know what you are. But the black Nazis, let's clarify. Now, and remember, now, the black Nazis, unfortunately, and I'm not clapping happily, they're targeting people that are other, that like in between. I'll say in between because I don't know what you are. So they're targeting people of color that do not follow their ideals. And they're also trying to eradicate race in their own special way by pretending everybody's African. And that everybody, you know, I don't ascribe to that ideal either if everybody came from Africa. Why? Because you've got black Nazis that jumped on that boat and white morons that want to pretend everybody came from Africa. And by the way, I told you I'm not all white. And would you like to hear my favorites list? Well, now, they've targeted my favorites, and including black Nazis, in a very racist way. Some of my favorites include, well, England, Scotland, Ireland, Wales, Europeans, Europe, and it includes, well, obviously there are Europeans elsewhere, and it includes Semitic people and also like Russian and Ukrainian, Slavic peoples. So, I'm not even fond of the ethnicity, though, that makes me less than white. Why? Oh, too much racism, and it's too political because for 13 years my favorites have been targeted. And so when I rescue even that person in history, I've heard some not nice things about that person, and I'm not interested in that ethnicity now. I'm not interested in them. I'm only interested in my favorites. And of course my favorites included, which I always forget to say, of course that it would include my ancestry. You never think about that. It's like, but anyway, these bums actually could see the invisible 13 years on. And they've screwed up the spirit world, they've screwed up nature, and for what I've heard, they've even screwed up 13 planets and a moon. And so, weigh out information again, but I am perhaps joined by another few 100 million people of other cultures in outer space. And if you'd like to know what the bums are doing now, they've ripped quite a bit of head, and they're playing orders, and they're trying to consecrate. Now, the retarded bums, and what are you eating? You don't order me, ugly bitch, including to eat my etheric body. And they've ripped ovary, or uterine. Now, what are they trying to do when they eat your etheric body? It's the same premise as the other Satanists that are actually cannibals eating human people, or these bums will also try to eat people's souls of the dead, by the way, and other beings. What they're trying to do is trying to sub people. They're trying to sub people. Sorry, I'm distracted. I'm looking at an old phone thinking, where am I going to donate this? It's got all my information on it. I can't plug it in because the prongs broke. It's not. Oh gosh, it's got all my apps. Now I did take it off of active. That's one thing you should do if you have accounts. You take it off the activation list, and it's just an old cell phone. So your Google and your Facebook or whatever are not letting that one on. You can avoid a lot of identity theft that way. Just look and you find devices. And even if you've been to the public library, if your computer's not working, that'll help you. Just find the device list. So, until I'm distracted. Now, I want to tell you that that dirty cop that is involved with the security guards at LaSalle, he nearly broke my arm. It was a big meth lab when I moved there. I didn't know it because I couldn't smell it. And LaSalle apartments, cute apartments, they've actually, unfortunately, the historical value, I believe, is reduced in such buildings when you remake them with shag carpeting from the 70s, that, and you take out involved actually policemen. And where did I get that information? Well, you have to understand, when gang members threaten you and boast to you and taunt you, what's that called? It's called information. It's called either, but they have questions. So now they'll try to play where you're going to be mad. No, I won't. And I'm going to do demolition in anyone's where they try to have me as a slave. including they're playing volunteer. So that's the gang members like to lie outright. They just wear more head, by the way. So yes, he's got a gay lover, but that policeman was angry because I called some prostitutes of the LaSalle prostitutes. It was also, when you have a lot of people sneaking in that are homeless, anywhere, it can be quite a mess. You don't know, well, first of all, not just because they're homeless, but, I mean, do you want people sneaking in, you don't know who they are, like 200 people a night? 50 a night. Who are they? Do you have their records? What if something happens? So that kind of beat me up in the elevator, almost broke my arm. And he was going to hand me over to the security guards. Now I know one of them couldn't rape very well because of his penis that was cut off in Africa, I think. Or somewhere. But anyway, he was going to I'm not sure he was just the one on duty, though. So there were other people probably with working penises. And I was attracted, and I had that, even if I hadn't been, had the feeling that that officer, his name starts with a B, I've mentioned his name in other broadcasts, he was going to hand me over to those security guards in their little office in the basement. Creepy enclosed area. Is that typical behavior of a policeman? Oh, I'll just leave her here with you so you can work her over kind of thing. She'll be your prostitute after you work her over. Now, the thing that almost broke my arm, he slammed me in the elevator, and he looked like a monster from a sci-fi movie as he flicked out his overly long tongue and swirled it around in a creepy, suggestive manner. I think it was downstairs, maybe. Let's see. Was it downstairs? Well, he leered and he stuck his tongue out. So, I can prove what I'm saying because I'll say he had a long tongue and he looked like something from a sci-fi movie that was possessed by some sort of worm thing from outer space. So, how could I come up with that information that he had a long tongue? Or would look creepy? I mean, if you look at him and he's cleaned up, he might just look like a regular person. To me, though, stamped on the face of many Americans, which led for, Satan with the inferior. And so, that wasn't succinctly put. It led the way for Satan to creep in or to engulf people because people were so inferior in the U.S. and they were ready to take the fall. And by the way, there's a bum in the shower, and he just played Bleeding Your Uterine Area. Satan actually gave these bums powers. They're not theirs, because what happened is, now, you might not believe it, but I'm the only one with chakras or a soul, and they always steal it and say, you're not getting it back. We killed your favorites with your soul. Well, there's something about my chakras. You don't want them out. Why? Because if you're not on their favorites list, they're going to come after you. And if they're handing it to you and saying, oh, look, it's a chakra. You look so pretty. There's a terrible curse on people who take it. And that bum is playing gnawing you, and he's playing head injury. Actually, I'm going to say the officer's name. I'm wondering. Starts with a B. I have to think. Starts with a B. So the bum is playing gnawing you and head injury. And he's playing cancel my injury. No, bitch, you're made of whatever you're not. Except you don't get good brains. You're a moron still. And you nod the whole U.S. And, excuse me, So there are bums that you might hear, you might not, but they're not supposed to be in the janitor's room. They're not even supposed to be there. Officer B is linking to these guys. There was another run-in with prostitutes, so I think you might see that I don't like prostitutes by this time, and that I'm not one. Even though they've tried to force me into one, being one. Well, there was a fat-ass cop here. And the fat-ass cop, actually, well, one of the hookers here, her name is Candy, white woman, retarded, ugly, moves her fingers convulsively from drugs. Long, sort of brown hair. She's a white person, like I said. And she told me to get into an automobile or I'd be beaten. Get into automobiles, which is the constant. See, this is a high traffic area, high prostitution area. Now, again, and the police know it too, I told them that, if you try to force me into a vehicle and you're successful, I'm going to cause an accident. Why? Because me being raped is more important to me to not be raped and to prevent it than whether or not it causes some sort of accident. I don't give a damn about anyone else in this place. They're all zombies. They're all morons. What place? Washington. So me causing an accident to get out of a car is more, it's more advantageous to worry about me. Just like these bums, if they ever try to play hostage, which they threaten repeatedly. Am I going to walk away with them so, oh, innocent people don't get hurt? Oh, no. And there are no innocent people here anyway. They're all zombies. So the fat-ass cop, by the way, he wanted to arrest me because he wanted me to be a prostitute for that ugly prostitute thing named Candy. She's about 5'9", 5'10", old used-up whore at 50. And fat-ass cop with the big, he had no neck, looked like a ball set on some fat-ass shoulders, or fat shoulders, excuse me, like a couch. He looks like a couch or an armchair or something, overstuffed. No neck, ugly, ruddy face, white person, by the way, too. Well, gosh. And so my reputation got ruined. And that, caused me to get stuck here even longer. But that happened to a lot of people in society that are normal. If you go against rapists, you might be accused of being a rapist. If you're going against black witches, I don't mean like black as in skin black, but against Satanists, you might be accused of being a Satanist if you have a mild interest or even just an interest in researching the paranormal, which I've researched my entire life. Never been a black witchcraft person, never been a Satanist. By the way, I need to pray. Look, there are some evil spirits which the retarded bums are into. There's a moron here. He talks like he's like he has a mask. He's in the janitor's room, by the way. Fuck off, bitch. How about that? Get in my way, I'll just knock you down. Am I assaulting them? Well, you're not allowed to kidnap people. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done as earth is in heaven. Please forgive our trespasses as we forgive those who trespass against us. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, power, and the glory forever. Amen. They're still playing eating you. I'm pure acid. And I'm every poison. One of the retardos is saying I just got done. So it's 132 million maggots in America against little old me. But you see, that's the whole thing. Now, I was busy being gang raped, so I wasn't able to save you from Satan. Now, I'm trying to remember, I'm sort of having an argument with myself. There's some vitamin water. I thought I drank it, put it in the fridge. I don't want to drink it because I've actually found things torn open. I've actually found fecal on cookie packages. I think it was yesterday, but I should dump it out if I can't remember. And see, the gang members, once they've entered your apartment or house, they cost a lot of money. First of all, if you have to run your water because there's acid in it, which doesn't defeat them fully anyway, what are you doing? You are causing damage to the environment, but it's they who are causing it. And they're causing it with the bad water running down to the oceans anyway. And, from the streams and then to the rivers. And even if it's taken into a holding pond, well, a lot of those purifications of water, they're not going to rid of all those meth lab chemicals that the bums are dumping down any more than you get rid of Prozac. And you've heard of Prozac in the water, and yes, it's true. And there's a moron, if you believe in ESP, he's in a car and he's communicating with the freaks here. Boy, my phone looks terrible. There. I have an extra phone now. It was too dangerous to, your smartphones can go dead. You can break the prongs off. You can't plug them in and then presto. So those little cell phones aren't too bad. I'm not going to want to make a bunch of phone calls on them, but if I had to call 911 and it saved my life, hey. Oh, by the way, the gang members are into illegal technology. In 13 years, I complained about a meth lab, and the people that were working on the meth lab, mostly was Hispanic Nazis. And their names were Canos. And also, let's say you report someone of color to a dirty cop. Well, then that dirty cop could portray, along with his buddies that are making that money, that you are a racist. I guess that Officer B couldn't say that when I was, calling a prostitute a prostitute. Most people were homeless people. Well, did I actually go anywhere to call that person a prostitute? No. It was people who were living under me, threatening me, and do I even know what the prostitute looked like? No. Officer Bobby was just Officer B was just targeting me. Officer B targeted me. Seattle Police Department. Now, I would like, with the meth lab at 132nd, 133rd in Aurora, he was on the premises and he was no longer acting. Oh, by the way, there's a chakra blow up and a head theft just now. Excuse me, I have to curse them and write down the time. Now, I will state that once you're sort of not working directly out of the police department, it's not like you're totally representing the Seattle Police Department in regard to the 132nd. And Obama's playing blah, blah, blah home. And he's playing reference home. And so you'll hear these gang member retards talking like they're authority figures. They're stringing something together. They'll use gang code, but they're also trying to string together a way to use like a psychic energy lever. Cursing. Now, so it's not the police department right there, like one of the precincts. It was a guy that was a dirty cop. and he was a security guard. He was probably on the take. He didn't want to, moonlighting, and then you're covering your debts. Like, I knew of one cop, Seattle police cop, he was covering his gambling debts, according to someone who he confided in, allegedly. Allegedly. Some people are addicted to gambling. So he was able to cover his wife, somebody, was it his wife or he? I think he. But he was able to cover up his gambling debts nicely, and to pay them. You wonder why people are security guards. Isn't that money enough? And if it's their job, it's harder to get them to answer to crimes, too. Because then they're under the jurisdiction of the whom? The security company. Now, that brings me to another subject. The two retarded security guards, that apparently one's the gay lover of Officer B, well, they have no jurisdiction on this property. Their boss is Pike Place Market Development Authority, which has nothing to do with Pike Place Market. But, they smoke crack here. Hello? A lot of people, even if they have jobs as, a job, but they're in the gangs with bums like these, they will come to these bums' homes and inducted, maybe haul her off to be raped. Then they put her out as a prostitute. Presto, nobody believes her. She's a prostitute. That's when they're getting raped too. That's what they'll do. They'll play. Nobody will believe you now. You're a prostitute. And that dirty cop 13 years ago was in on that. So you get a reputation, then you get the ball going. It's like the witch hunts, the communist witch hunts of the 50s. And your phone will be tapped illegally. It's not the FBI, unless they have a buddy in the FBI. It's usually a bunch of cops. It's a dirty security guard doing it. Maybe he's doing it for the dirty cop, maybe not. One of your so-called government authority or your conspiracy theories, not even government. Dirty security guards, dirty geeks, portraying themselves as security guards, or cops even. And even what you have to know is a security guard is not going to have the abilities or rights over people that a cop does. Even like this dirty filth that come here, they're security guards, even on the premises of the LaSalle or the rest of the market, they answer to the police department. They can't, like one of them I heard was another one, a big guy, I think. I heard, and this is again allegedly, he beat up somebody and gave that kid a brain injury at the market. And he really shouldn't have done that. It's like when a bouncer goes wild. Basically, a lot of security guards, they have maybe the rights of a bad bouncer. And a lot of them aren't even very much more intelligent. It's just someone who's a head injury person, like these, they're morons. They're people who wouldn't make it as a real cop, a good cop at all. Or even a cop that had to study. And they never get over it. See, these security guards, they're so psychotic, especially after the crack gets in them. Maybe the coke is wearing off, I don't know. But I heard they're on coke. So do I hang out with people like that? No. Do I hang out with anyone? Not really. Not very often. They're all zombies. So even if I were to hang out with someone, like recently someone I know, whoops, let me stop that. Now, if you want to know what that is, that was a spirit. Bad. And they're meant to scare me, do they? No. Am I scared by Lovecraft horror after 13 years? No. So you basically had retarded monsters walking around in flesh. Why would I be why would I be afraid of another retarded monster that just looks like a monster? Yes, and I see that EN. There's a lot of EN. Oh, and one of the bums is threatening my tongue. You know, I'd like to see you walk around after you try anything with my tongue. I'd like to see that. See, they're so confident that the Seattle police will back them up because of the incident with the dirty cops. Incidents. Three. That's why they're very confident bums here. There's a whore playing facetious or something. Do I care about Stinky's opinion? No, she smells so bad you'll get it. No. Smelly pants. Do I care about smelly pants in there with her opinion? No, it's smelly pants. I'll take my inhaler. Smelly pants. That's what most of them are. And so the security guard will have a few of them portraying themselves as cops. Dr. Jaffe's retarded son, he's a psychiatrist that comes here, as I've said before. He, after he smokes crack, he doesn't know if he's called himself Russian police or FBI or a shrink, even though he's retarded and he's been in special ed classes. He loses track of his stories. That's why if anyone was paying attention for 30 years to these morons, you'd be able to figure out what was going on. And, you see these retarded hookers walking the bus telling people, like a Metro bus driver, and the Metro bus driver's like, okay, I'm a state police person. I'm here to remove her backpack. We'll be taking your backpack today. The bus driver's thinking, okay. Either in on it or just ignoring it. So they're all zombies, and typical gang behavior, they're all pretending that they're some kind of authority. So like the retarded hooker in the wall, even though she stinks, probably like a pig farm times 7. A couple of them do. She is suddenly portraying herself as a policewoman. Her name is Stephanie, I think. And she's a retarded hooker that's injected her arm practically off with heroin. She's an ugly heroin hag. And I'd like to note, in the event something happens to me sometime, which it has already, but these bastards will even illegally try to prescribe their friends and their own meds to you. How do you like that? Their own and their friends. Do you like it? And Dr. Jaffe's one of those. Dr. Jaffe's son, that is. And Dr. Jaffe, from what I've heard, has played the Lisa's Crazy game where the microphone's been left on. And they started to play that game quite a lot at one point. And then at one point, they wouldn't admit or write like some letter for me to suggest, she's not making it up. And their phone call, screwing up everything down. And the actual company interviewed me about what was happening. But did I ever receive some sort of, I'll tell you what does make those people illegal broadcast or more of me. There is allegedly camera equipment, which I believe, because I've been taunted, and there has been for 13 years. Once you anger the Bloods and Zetas or Asian street gangs, you will. And by the way, in this area, it's not just good acoustics, it seems mic'd. It suggests like that it's mic'd, and I can sort of almost hear it like booming back at me. So anyway, they're playing Eating Your Etheric Body again, and it's the retarded scum of the earth. It was a curse put on me that I wouldn't have any defenses. See, these Satanists that fell with Satan, they didn't want me to have any defense. They wanted everybody dragged down. And indeed, they dragged down the spirit world and nature and mankind as much as they could. And they keep trying to... I'm not one of those people. I don't like to use it in an oxymoronic context where you're talking about bums achieving something. Anyway, chest. They're playing poo-pew. So that's the whole thing with the cannibals, too. By the way, these bums are in on cannibalism. The thing is, I have to laugh because she's pure excrement. You're all pure excrement. You're absolute excrement. Eating the rest of my breakfast. Head, heptest, large. And bum plank, we just have to have that power ball. Now, I will tell you that the cannibal bums will also threaten to cut them out of you. One of the retarded maggots is boasting of illegal video. Now, the gang members have also followed me around for 13 years, and you'll often find dirty cops and then other excrement, including security turds, portraying themselves as cops, along with their maggot friends, which might include professional and semi-professional as well, of other ilk. And they will absolutely act like it's a government investigation because you're under illegal surveillance. And so one of the turds, he's so confident, I have video of Lisa Guthrie. I just heard him. I face the smoking area. Their windows are open, a lot of them. Sorry, I'm eating my half a sandwich, half a bagel. So there's usually a gun threat. Sometimes I've actually heard guns clicking through. Whoops, I just dropped some jam. Through. One of the whores is threatening me for my finger. Do you think you're going to be walking around after you take my finger, ugly bitch? And do you think you ugly bastards are actually going to be walking around if you detain me? And do you think the people at the front desk would lose everything along with you? They will. They will lose everything. That's a guarantee. And I will try to catch the last moments on YouTube. Just for you. And there was a large head, front tissue, lots of ends. Remember, including when they've eaten me, they've attacked the whole U.S. as well. And they've used every EN that they've used on me on the U.S. Oh, the bums are playing sacrifice and hotel. So these retarded morons that pee their pants here actually think they're going to be rich, have me working in a hotel and doing magic for them. Do you think that hotel would be standing? If there's a bulldozer around, I'm going to bulldoze that hotel. And guess what? That could get the police to notice that I'm not going to be a slave, and they might come rescue me. Perhaps a flood will come to that hotel, including, they've called this place a hotel, and one of the morons is threatening Irish people. Irish threats. And they usually throw in the word Irish, Scottish, English, Welsh, European, or even the names of God. Why? Because they're trying to curse these beings, these people. And they're playing, you have an attitude. Oh, yes, I have an attitude, and I will bulldoze everything to the ground if there's a bulldozer in sight. And then the police might come, and then I'd get rescued. Are they going to be happy? Why'd you bulldoze it? Well, they tried to enslave me. It's logical. What's the flood for? Well, they were trying to enslave me. Why'd you put the iron in the flood? Well, they were trying to enslave me. Why did you... Oh, and they're playing Irish, and bum just tore chest, and they're playing hurt Irish bad. Excuse me, I have to curse these bastards. And I'll insert the word Irish haters. Head large. And the retardo that's practicing magic, he's playing, that's her grandmother. So they'll try to pick apart your etheric and physical body and play, that's your grandmother's. Now, would this bum across the hall that's a retardo have contact with my brother, or my grandmother? No. Like, a lot of the retarded child molesters, they'll actually try to make your etheric body into some kind of whore or child that they can molest, and they'll call it my daughter, my son. So they've actually delegitimized a lot of words in the U.S., including mine, the word mine. One of the retardos is playing shall do this. And mind you, these morons have about the IQ of about 80. And they're trying to rule fate. So there is a connection with the dirty cop and, the gay lovers of the dirty cop. It's such a sad and sensitive story that I was actually singing a mocking song about it earlier. Can't even remember it because I make up songs spontaneously. Now you have to watch Being Talented. See, that's why the gang members and America, which they're doing survival of the shittiest and unfittest. It's all the retarded DNA. They want to promote the retarded people. Well, they tried to kill me off because I was talented. I am talented and I'm beautiful. I was beautiful. Not anymore. I was beautiful, talented, creative, and smart, funny, And so survival of the shittiest will get rid of you. And the bum just took uterine and he's playing gnawing you. I'm pure poison. Uterine, and also I'll use blowout. And one of the whores is talking about the Klan. And so it's typical here, they'll threaten you with slavery and rape, and then they'll pretend you're the Nazi, including to whip up Oh, like threaten you with a riot because you won't be a slave to the ugly black Nazi. So what the black Nazis rely heavily on, and which is what I know now, they will force women sex by. So these ugly black Nazis here are no exception. One of the bums is playing protection. He's in the shower area behind the wall, and he's talking about his gun, and he's playing protect you indentured. So when I throw the couch out the 3rd floor, 10th floor, or flood the place, and throw the lamp in that's on, that'll be protecting you. How about that? Oh, they thought they'd have me enslaved here. They made threats for the bombs, like including garbage bags like Maria. There's a whore here named Maria. Pale skin. She looks like a fly, though. Very ugly, very special ed looking. They threatened me for an ugly old Mexican guy. And, you know, when your apartment floods, don't say I didn't warn you. And when I throw your clothing down the garbage chute, don't say I didn't warn you. And when I drop off any of your relatives in other buildings at the FBI office, you know, in a special box or wherever they put those things, I don't know. Just maybe in front, park them there. You'll know. When I let the horses out before the barn floods, you'll know about that, won't you? You were warned. Might even be 6 months later. You're talking to someone who, you know, I've been threatened for my organs, like kidneys. One of the black Nazis said you're going to sell everything that's unnecessary. And they do connect with hospitals, and they connect, like these 2 black Nazis connect with funeral homes that don't use death certificates, apparently, when they bury a body, if, you know, if the price is right. Or if it's a friend that wants to get rid of someone. Oh, and the ugly Mexican guy is Yappy. That's he. Ugly wheelchair guy. I think so. Ugly old man with the tattoos. He worries about raping people because he only has one leg that's normal size. The rest, the other one is too big. I said the rest. Oh, these bums, also, because they're satanic bastards, they have walked around with swords that I've heard. They've bragged about shrouds, and they threaten me before the full moon at other times. They also threaten, even though I'm in my 50s, they threaten to, the black Nazis are very good at this kind of threat. They threaten to make you have children for them. And the rapist females have even threatened to have me have children for the building with a retarded mongoloid. I'm sorry, retarded mongoloid might be a bit redundant. I'm brushing my teeth. Oh, the whore, one of the whores is chanting your family. Does this have anything to do with families? No, I have no relationship to these people. These are bloods. I'm listening to one of them, that's why I say, And I try to remember, don't engage in conversation with them. Just insult them back. Now the thing is, if I scream, oh, I'm going to get you back. Well, then the Seattle Police Department that are corrupt, and also like the bums here, including the managers, they'll probably say, oh, she's making threats. They've actually done that about people in the storage room. She's making threats. One of them was standing in there. I think she's one of the quote property managers. She has dark hair. I think her name's Emily. She looks like a retarded, ugly goth from Tim Burton. You know, they just prop up the drug addict at the desk. Someone to prop up. You just put a popsicle stick in her and she's fine. Maybe a little tripod. Tripod would be good, and then she could be high as a kite and just sit down there all day. I've heard rumors that she would stand out on or squat on University Ave asking people for money. Or other places, like squat in a doorway. It's America's workforce. And the more retarded they are, the more insane, it's okay as long as they are working for, you know, the management. As long as they don't go crazy and hurt the manager as well. I'll be right back. Sickos is playing screwing your etheric body. You have to realize that these ugly bums, it's a theme of defilement and making anything profane they can. That's why the bums that are Satanists like to molest and harm children. It's taking innocence and then making it profane. There is no one innocent pretty much in the U.S., but child molestation is still gross. Grotesque. The object here, I don't know what you're. They're dogs. And see, what they want to achieve is to try to get a guard in public and humiliate the bitch, wherever it is. And yes, I have to steal going out. I have to talk like the street. So, you know, remember I'm fit. I don't look like Laura Ingalls type anymore, but I have a tendency. Now, they send help, I don't mean, but the authorities where you are. And try to find somebody who actually involved, and they might be crazy. Oh, she's crazy. Well, in the shower, behind it. I'm telling you, on Metro, try to pull a kidnap. They're all acting. Bus drivers going along with it like a retarded zombie. We'll get other jobs for gay lovers. Like, office could go and work in the, you know, like, in laundry people or something. I hope they don't fight, because one of them got more attention. So when you think of Washington State, think of the unfittest. The more retarded and corrupt you are, the more evil you are, the better. If you're good, you're gone. Basically. Am I telling you that? No. To taunt you or threaten you? No. After I put my floor, you know, because I can't leave a swamp. gets a bit watery when you have to poke your head out to make sure no one's breaking in and you're not wearing glasses. Just get out. Especially avoid urine and ejaculate, including retarded security guards and Dr. Jaffe's retarded son, who likes to ejaculate into people's water supplies. I heard he hasn't ejaculated into the water, but he has been in there dumping containers of things that would burn me or kill me or sicken me. Let me tell you another game, something in your water or your food. And now they've bragged about what else? Ebola, polio, maybe diphtheria, I think typhus or typhoid. So, diphtheria, they bragged about it. Cop, like Officer Bobby and his gay friends, gay lovers. That just came to mind about lovers. I wonder if they have a lover's package. That's a store. I'm seeing little S&M masks on them. O'Donnell, Eden. Something about Eden. East of Eden or something. Exchanging lovers. Changing lovers. Exchanging lovers. So this is a tale of corruption. And if you say, well, you're just a needle addict or something, your hands, you're a meth addict, well, it doesn't match. Now, also, well, I have areas where nobody could reach. Toilet paper sprinkled with glass. And also, like I said yesterday, I wouldn't have been as good as I am about self-preservation if I even had anything to drink for about 6 years. I have smoked beer. Times in my life, not that I was an alcoholic, but I would just stop for 10 years. I think I felt guilty being disabled. Didn't go dancing, didn't go to a bar, didn't go anywhere fun. But, you know, I just, I don't know. But anyway, so, you know, I certainly wasn't licentious. And in America that are involved in gangs, they are fairly licentious, but, you know, they sleep around. And remember, these people were all programmed. And